Declan, let's talk about implementing safety in design at the pre-construction phase.
Okay, so what exactly do we want to discuss? So we're talking pre-construction, we're talking early contractor engagement from clients to main contractors, or are we talking about disseminating that throughout the rest of the subcontractor division?
Let's start with the importance of that. Yep,
So-
safety in design, and also I want to get to the cost implications downstream. That doing it well, not doing it well. What are the cost implications of that downstream in that process?
So to be fair, right, a lot of what I'm going to say here is my opinion from my experiences both in construction in Ireland and how I've seen it done effectively,
Yeah.
and how I've seen it in New Zealand. And I haven't experienced a lot of pre-construction, but the ones I have experienced is very much just people, effectively it's people's opinions on what's the right methodology. There's very, from a client to a main contractor, it's very much that here's our plan, you go deliver it.
Yep.
In my opinion, an effective ECI is an early engagement with subbies as well to ensure that the methodology that you're trying to achieve is actually achievable. So if we take my current position, right? So in Acro, in the group, I look after 4 businesses. There is absolutely no program ever for scaffolding.
No program ever, did you say?
No. So if you think about it, you're talking about pre-planning. When you put it into context of scaffolding, very few companies actually know what they want, apart from we're going to put a perimeter scaffold up on this elevation.
Yeah.
But that changes every other day. What's your goal? What's the outcome? What's your Gantt chart look like? What does all this? It changes every day.
Interesting.
because
Why
no-
do you think that is? I mean, I'm a planner. I do this for a living.
Construction's
Yeah,
fluid,
I
right?
I do forget scaffolding sometimes, which is
But
terrible
construction-
to say.
Yeah, but construction is fluid,
Um,
right? So the interesting side of it is we provide a control to every other trade.
Yeah.
But we're expected to deliver the control in the most unsafe manner and as quickly as possible. So if we're involved and engaged early and going, we need to do this on the eastern elevation of just Commercial Bay. Take Commercial Bay as an
Yeah.
example.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
We're going to do
Yeah.
44 stories at a tower to do a reglazing,
Yeah.
right? If we're engaged early, we can plan, program, and deliver on time, and we can give you a methodology that allows you to de-risk. My personal opinion is COVID has completely fucked the construction industry.
How so?
Budgets are blown.
Yeah.
Time is money.
More important than money, but
Time is something you can never reclaim, right?
100%.
So when COVID hit, the construction industry was on an incline. It was actually going in the right direction from a health and safety space. They were trying hard. They were investing money. Budgets were allocated to actually deliver things in a safe manner. I don't know about the time side of things, but in my opinion, as the time goes out, the first thing that goes is get it up as quickly as possible. So safety goes out the window. You go from de-risking and looking at methodology to build in a safe manner to throw that shit up, get it up as quickly as you can with X amount of men. That for me increases risk rather than decreases risk.
Absolutely does. How many times do you have to adjust that scaffold to get your services up?
Your RLs are out, your levels are, everything is out.
Yeah.
And for me, that just increases the risk profile. 1, on my staff, the ones that I'm accountable for, but 2, on every other trade that's there as well. Because when time is pushed, everything else condenses. So you think about building over people. People over people is your biggest risk, right? My biggest concern is people falling and shit falling. My greatest concern is us dropping something onto someone else.
Fair. Yep.
But when time is an issue, everybody needs to get their job done immediately. And it's piss poor planning and piss poor management.
So what are you saying? I'm doing a fucking terrible job. Is that what you said?
It's not you. It's guys. It's the guys downstream, right?
Can I
And
do a better job?
Yeah. You can put your plans in place, right? But
Yeah.
if they can't be delivered effectively by the guys downstream, what value do you add?
Fair.
Do you know what I
Fair.
mean?
Yeah.
Because your plans have to be achievable, and I've seen your plans, and the data you give is quite powerful. So for that to actually be digested and delivered is a different scenario. Because what you do is fantastic, but what we do downstream is very, very different.
So it's the last planner that you're talking about. How do you get that level of detail?
My greatest flaw in New Zealand is we literally do not deal with the guys on the ground to deliver what we want to deliver. We deal with managers.
So,
So-
when you say we,
So
I
the construction industry, right? The
Okay.
industry as a whole.
yeah,
We go in and we do health and safety meetings. We go in and we do last planner sessions. We go in and we do high level briefings and all this fucking shit. But that means nothing to the guy with a spanner in his hand.
Agreed. Yep. So how do you get that message through to him?
How, that's if that was the silver bullet that would fix the industry. That is literally the silver bullet that would fix the industry. So how? We're taking up an initiative, and we're evaluating our KPIs, and we're evaluating actually how we deliver things daily.
Yep.
So we all do daily pre-starts, right?
Everybody
So
does.
we've gone from the ECI now to daily bills. So we've gone fucking way off topic, but that's fine. This is just going to be a good spin of a yarn. We've gone from going, right, we want to do daily pre-starts. Fucking daily pre-starts not worth a fucking piece of paper. Right? It's a compliance checkbox. What we're looking actually doing is moving into a pre-job briefing. Every job you do needs to be...
Isn't it the same thing with a different name?
No, but it's every job. You might have 5
Right.
jobs in a day.
Okay.
So you do a briefing for everyone, and it only takes you 5 minutes rather than a 20-minute pre-start.
So how is that different from a
You
pre-start?
do a pre-start at 7 a.m.,
Yep.
and you do 5 jobs between that time and 5 o'clock.
Right.
You've done smoko, you've had lunch, you've sat down, you've forgot.
It's
Like you go,
gone over your head.
you go out into the industry and ask somebody at 11 o'clock what you talked about in your pre-start.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so you tell me that's an effective tool.
That's a very valid point. I mean, they just asked me what I had for dinner and I couldn't remember. So
Yeah. So like what we're actually looking at is we're looking at shifting our mindset from you tick a compliance box to actually doing what's important. And for us, it's how do you get a collaborative, contributing, effective, and efficient means of delivering an outcome, so a task, in the quickest means possible in the safest manner. And we're looking at actually, well, the guys who are delivering it with the spanner in their hands are the best possible people to actually tell us how they're going to do it. Especially when you have some advanced scaffolders or intermediates or whatever leading those conversations.
So just run me through what happens in one of the pre-start briefs. What are you calling it?
This is an initiative we're looking
project
at.
brief.
We're developing currently to roll out.
Yeah,
Our
right.
pre-starts manner, you sit down, you go through what are today's goals, what are the risks, what are the controls,
What could go wrong?
what's your emergency procedure, and it is literally everyone goes in, they tick a box,
Yeah.
right? Because it's tap that button on your phone, tap that button on your phone, tap that button on your phone, have a conversation, fill in some words. A lot of it will be we're going to build a scaffold.
Yeah.
That means fucking nothing to me.
So 5 days later, he's just on autopilot ticking boxes.
Absolutely. But
Interesting.
you move into you move into a space where you focus on what's important, and every task is important. If you do it at 7 o'clock in the morning, by the time you get to 2 o'clock when you're doing your last job of the day, everybody's forgotten. So if you do it moment in time, you actually create a greater level of engagement. And for me, that's
a very interesting concept.
And for us, we're looking at moving from a quantitative point of view in leading indicators. So you think about you're doing your evaluations on a monthly basis for board reports, or you're doing your triffer to give it off to clients when they want to get your pre-qualifications and whatnot. We're actually moving into a space where we're like, we're going to bin some of that because it's not important, right?
Yeah, because they're all not lead indicators; they're all lag indicators. aren't
Yeah,
they?
I mean,
shit that's happened in the fucking past.
We report on our observations. We look at how many audits we do. We look how many engagements we have. But what's actually the effectiveness of them? So we're moving from a space where we're ticking a box to do something and go, yeah, I have a KPI to do 1 thing this week and 5 things this week and 3 things this week. We're moving actually, what's the effectiveness of what we're doing?
Yeah.
So we're actually going evaluating what's the effectiveness of a pre-start. So have you ticked all these boxes? Have you actually hit the KPIs of what an effective pre-start looks like? And when we move to pre-job briefings, which are going to be less to give you more, what's the effectiveness of those?
Yeah,
and we'll set a bar to go, you have to at least achieve 85% for that to be an effective briefing. So now you get a barometer across our profile, which is 4 businesses nationally with 16 hubs effectively across the whole country. We move into that space and we go, well, we get an evaluation. And what do you get? You get above the line, below the line. Below the line, coaching, growing opportunities. Above the line, rewarding opportunities. So you always try and get people above the line to acknowledge positive behaviors. Reinforcing positivity breeds consistency, breeds continuity, breeds success. That's the goal, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
yeah.
in health and safety, the goal is continuous improvement.
Yeah.
So if you're not in that mindset of
It's-
continuous improvement, even at the early stage when you're engaging with people early on, going, we are going to have challenges, we are going to have gaps, we are going to have issues in the ECI phase, because when it comes from ECI to delivery, it's an ECI problem because we haven't factored it in.
Yeah.
Now it's delivery, so how are we going to overcome it and continuously improve?
Yeah.
That in essence is health and safety.
Absolutely. Health and safety, it's a lifestyle, isn't it? You've got to get these guys to get it inbuilt into what they've got to live and breathe it.
Mate, I would love to say it's a lifestyle, but I'm very much a do as I say, not as I do kind of character. Sitting here at 2:00 in the afternoon, sipping on a lovely Jameson whiskey.
Cheers, mate.
Looking for sponsors, Jameson. Anybody?
Jameson triple, by the way.
Yeah. So, mate, and thank you, by the way. Appreciate that.
Easy, mate.
But yeah, very much a do as I say, not as I do. So I should probably look at my integrity and probably go, I should be a little bit more well behaved to actually go and challenge people a little bit more.
Yeah.
My values should align what their values are, especially from 7 till 5. So.
But you're Irish.
Greatest rugby team in the world.
That's some really interesting insights into what you do.
But it's factual, right?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you just said it yourself, right? Planning, you miss out on the scaffolding package.
Not always. But
it's very,
but
it's
here's
very
the thing,
difficult to put a scaffolding package together, right?
Yeah,
Because
so-
it changes every day.
Absolutely.
And that is my biggest challenge. That is my biggest
temporary
risk.
works. Yeah.
It's change management in temporary works.
Yeah, temporary works, and going, because when I'm actually writing a program of works, I'm just going, okay, how are we going to get the steel up? How are we going to do the earthworks? You know, all of that's front of mind for me. And then I go, yep, they'll figure the scaffold out. I'm sure they'll figure it out on site. I just need to leave some allowance in there for a scaffold, and they'll figure it out. But I mean, I'm not going to go to the nth detail of what your scaffold design is. You know what I mean? I'll never get to the end of a program, and nobody will read that program.
But I get that, right? But when you put that in context, you're allowing a little bit.
Yeah.
So what you're allowing for is our guys to go in,
square meters,
throw a harness on, and go and build something as quickly as possible. Whereas what I want to get us to, and mindset-wise, is: are we doing 1 meter lifts? Are we doing the tunneling method? One, that's going to cost you more money because it is going to cost you time, because we're trying to de-risk the risk of fall and dropped objects for our people. Two, it's going to cost you more on rental, because if we're doing 1 meter lifts, we've got to put a shitload more gear on. So when we put that time factor in, that comes with a cost.
Yeah.
So what we can deliver in, let's say, arguments like 4 days, with a safe manner to de-risk on our people, some other company could deliver in 3 days or 2.5 days, and you don't get the same onto rental. But we're trying to deliver a high quality product that poses less risk to your business.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, COVID's fucked all that, because now you're going, right, well, we have a budget.
Yeah,
the budget's not changed.
Yeah.
The time's gone way out. Everybody's getting hit for money. Businesses are going under. You're going to go with the guy who's going to do it in 2.5 days instead of 3 days, and we're offering 4 days for a high quality product, but we're also charging you more rental. You're going to go with the guy who's below us.
Yeah, I mean, it's the traditional time, cost, quality triangle. You know,
100%.
You don't have the time, so you're going to get a
honestly,
shit quality product. So
that's the thing. New Zealand's actually in a really, really positive trajectory, like when it comes to actually managing and de-risking, and it's just gone off a cliff since COVID hit.
Yeah. Interesting perspectives, mate. You've got to come back and tell us how you've gone with your pre-job briefings. At some point. Once you've implemented it, I'm really keen.
It's a 3-year plan to have me worked out of a job in 5 years,
mate. Absolutely,
that's the goal. I'd love to stay with Acro for the rest of my life, but I want to be so good at my job that I don't have a job in 5 years' time.